Well, hello everyone, my name is Zwiggojr and welcome back to another video. In the past, we have played through certain Pokemon games, more specifically Emerald and Pokemon Fire Red, with very weak bugs. Those being Wurmple and Caterpie. And now it's time to continue that. We're going to be taking on Pokemon Black with Sewaddle. But Sewaddle isn't as weak as Caterpie and Wurmple because it actually has a moveset. Its stats are still garbage though. We are in fact going to be able to learn its some TMs, which wasn't the case with Wurmple or Caterpie. We are definitely going to have some roadblocks, like fire and flying types, since we are grass bug and are quadruple weak to those two typings. So, do you guys think that Sewaddle is going to be able to take on this entire game without using any items in battle? Or are we going to have to drug this bug like with the other two? Before we get into it, let's try to smash 0.3 likes, since that is Sewaddle's length. And as always, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done that already. And let's just get right into the run. I named myself Bob because Bob sounds like the perfect bug catcher name to me. We then rescue our little bug, which was trapped in this tiny box, and we absolutely destroy Bianca with her Oshawott and Sharon with his Tepig. And there's also another thing, we actually destroy our entire room. I don't know how a bug destroys a room, but we don't care about that since our mom is going to clean it up anyway. I decided to name my Sewaddle Polly. I don't know, it just sounds like a very fitting name for a Sewaddle. And have a Skype call, I mean, who uses Skype anymore these days? And we make our way to this meeting with Getsis, who once again has some amazing arguments about I absolutely have no idea because I wasn't listening. Our little bug then pounds Purloin into the ground, and we make sure that N doesn't bother us anymore. Before we reach the next town, we have a couple of rival battles here, starting off with Bianca, who has added a Lillipup to her team. But our Sewaddle now has Bug Bite, which is a move that's already way stronger than Caterpie and Wurmple could have ever gotten. And so we just one-shot Lillipup with Bug Bite and two-shot Oshawott with Bug Bite. Bianca out of the way, I get myself a free Water Monkey and go to the Trader School for the next rival battle with Sharon. Now he has a Purloin and a Tepig, but the Tepig is literally impossible to beat at this level. It's impossible for me to one-shot him with a critical hit tackle, and since he's holding an Oran Berry, he is always going to recover some health. And his second Ember is always going to do way more damage because of the Blaze ability that he has. So there's really nothing I can do here except for come back at level 15, where I did learn Razor Leaf, and I know it's not very effective, but it has a very high crit chance. And if this thing crits, it's going to take out the Tepig. So that's exactly what I did. I just waited until I got a critical hit, took down the Tepig, and then took down the Purloin with Bug Bite as well, taking down Sharon and making us able to go to the first gym. This gym poses a similar problem since they also have a fire type in Pansear, and this thing even has a higher attacking move than Ember in Incinerate. And it also loves to use Work Up to buff its special attack even more so that it can one-shot me with that Incinerate. And once again, I had to grind because my little bug was not standing up to this fiery monkey at level 15. At level 20, my tackles did a little bit more damage. So we were now able to one-shot the Lillipup with a Bug Bite, and then the Pansear was still a lot of tackle before it went down, and it managed to hit us with a +1 boosted Incinerate, but we still managed to survive with a lot of HP remaining, which meant that our little bug has finally acquired its first gym badge. We then see that Getsis actually works for PETA and saves an Muna from some animal abuse. Good job, Getsis. And wait, what's this? Another rival battle. Sharon just doesn't know how to leave us alone, does he? He still has the same team as before, but now a level 14 Tepig. This time my Razor Leaf once again crits turn 1. He hits us with an Ember, which surprisingly doesn't even do that much. And we then hit another tackle to take down Tepig. Now the Purloin once again goes down to a Bug Bite, and that's another rival battle out of the way. After this, we quickly beat up a Pigeon from N, since his team is utter garbage. If we are going to count N as a rival, that means we're going to be doing a lot more rival battles in the future. Believe me, these guys don't give you any free space. Now it is time to actually gather some knowledge by entering the library/museum. I don't really understand why this is led by normal types and not maybe like fossil type Pokemon, but let's get right into the battle with Lenora. She has two Pokemon, Herdeer and Watchog. Herdeer is a very annoying Pokemon because of its ability Intimidate. once I enter the battle, I'm immediately -1 in attack. So I'm not going to be doing a lot of damage. Then once I get to the Watchog, it loves to put me to sleep with Hypnosis or hit me with a Retaliate, doing major damage because of the Hairdeer that faints before it. Just like every other Elite Four member, Gym Leader, or Champion, they love to use healing items. And since that's something that we're not going to be doing, this means that we're going to have to grind up our little bug just a little bit more. Now I tried at various levels, but level 26 was that sweet spot. I mean, it still took me a couple of tries, but all I really needed was some critical hits with Razor Leaf. So after losing to Watchog's Retaliate about a dozen times, I eventually was able to get a critical hit on the Hairdeer first turn, taking it down. Then I got a critical hit Razor Leaf on the Watchog as well, but she used a Super Potion and a Leer as well, so lowering my defense. I then hit another Razor Leaf and got hit with a Retaliate, another Razor Leaf, and another Retaliate, and eventually I was only left with 5 HP, but then I finished off Watchog with a Bug Bite. A pretty close battle, but our little bug came out on top. After getting our gym badge, Team Plasma steals the Dragonite Skull. I don't know what this Dragonite is, but it's pretty damn big. So we do what any kid of 10 years old would do. We travel through a dark forest, getting ambushed by a bunch of their members, but eventually managed to retrieve the skull. We do some more stuff with Team Plasma, but let's just skip that and go to the next gym leader, Burge, with his bug types. And he has the evolved form of our little bug. Yeah, he has Leavanny. And to complement Leavanny, he also has a Dwebble and a Roly-Poly. And as you can see from this battle footage here, we are not doing a lot of damage against the Whirlipede. Our tackles do maybe about 1/4 of its health, and it has the move Screech and the super effective Poison Tail to hit me with, which does in fact mean a lot of trouble for our little bug. So I returned at level 29, where I did a little bit more damage and managed to get to Leavanny, which absolutely destroyed me with Struggle Bug. But level 29 was indeed once again that sweet spot. Polly was even able to take down Whirlipede with 3 tackles. After that we managed to also 2-shot Dwebble with Razor Leafs, but we also got hit with a Smackdown. With 32 HP remaining, we went into Leavanny, and Struggle Bug managed to not kill me, and then Bug Bite managed to one-shot, giving us our 3rd gym badge. And you know, after a gym badge, we do another rival battle. This time Bianca has a different team. She added Panseer and Muna. Muna should not be a problem, but Panseer might form some kind of issue. Anyway, she starts off with Hairdeer, which cuts our attack in half with Intimidate right from the start of the battle. My Sewaddle is still able to take it down with 2 Razor Leaves though. Panseer is up next. I hit a tackle and get hit with an Incinerate, but it barely does any damage, since we're a little bit over leveled at this point, so one more tackle takes down Panseer. And we then take out Muna with Bug Bite and Duod with a Razor Leaf. We absolutely get no breaks in this game. Another rival battle gets thrown at us immediately. Let's take on Sharon as well. But he was actually a lot harder than Bianca. He has a Pidove as his first Pokemon, which is already 4 times super effective against me. And then if I take down this little pigeon, there is this big ass pig that loves to use Flame Charge and then be speedier than my little bug. One Flame Charge most of the time doesn't one-shot me, but the second one, well, there's no way I'm surviving the second one. And at level 30, even a critical hit from any of my moves won't take out this amazingly buff pig. Luckily, because it's the worst firefighting type starter, I only had to level up a couple more levels before this pig fell to the knees. Does Sewaddle even have knees? Anyway, you know what I mean. So I jumped back into the fight 10 levels higher, at level 40. And the battle started off great. I critical hitted the Pidove, taking it down in one hit with Tackle. I was then able to hit a Tackle on the Pignite, he hit a Flame Charge back, and even with the speed buff, my Sewaddle was still able to outspeed this pig. So another Tackle took it down. And his last 2 Pokemon, Pansage and Liepard, also both got destroyed by my bug bites. After that, I went to the next city and grabbed the return TM, which is basically just going to be a way stronger tackle. After this, we have our romantic scene with N down at the Ferris wheel, and after he tried to give me a kiss, I had to beat him up because I'm sorry man, I just don't swing that way. But he was honestly just a pushover one-shotting Sandile, Darumaka, then getting hit by the Sigilif, doing a very large amount of damage actually, but still one-shotting with Bug Bite, and last up Scraggy, also a single hit, and we've already beaten N. This now means that we can take on Elisa and her electric type Pokemon. She has 2 Emolgas, which we immediately just one-shot with return. I'm surprised we even outspeed these things. And then our Zebra comes out, and we absolutely do not outspeed this Zebra. It has Flame Charge, but decides to use Spark instead, and that's its downfall, because then we just use Bug Bite, and eventually the big Zebra just faints after using a couple of potions. Another easy gym badge acquired. And now we meet up with Bianca and have a very awkward moment with her dad here. And we then move on to the Golden Gate Bridge, where we have a battle with Sharon again. But we just destroy Lipard with a Bug Bite. We then kill the Tranquil with a return. Pignite is not such a problem anymore since we do now have return, so that's another one-shot, and Pansage gets bitten to death by a bug. After that, we lower the drawbridge and meet up with the sheriff of the town, Clay, and we have to round up some Team Plasma Goons for him down at the freezer. I don't know what these guys were doing in here, but you know what? I don't even want to know. Just take them away. It can be good. After that very weird event, we take our asses to Clay's gym, and this was absolutely no problem at all since I'm part grass type, he has ground types. We just obliterated his Krokorok with Razor Leaf, his Excadrill too, and finally Palpitoad. He gives us our 5th gym badge, and after getting out of the mines, we have one more rival battle with no one else than Bianca again. She still starts off with, you guessed it, her Herdier with Intimidate, so once again we have lowered attack. That doesn't really matter though, since a couple of bug bites can take this dog down, but we still got hit with a takedown. Pansear is luckily very weak, so our return easily one-shots. Musharna is able to survive a bug bite, use a potion, put us to sleep, confuse us as well, and eventually bring us down all the way to 19 health. But eventually we woke up, we didn't hit ourselves anymore, and our bug bite finally took down Musharna. She then goes into her last hope, Duad, but even that thing couldn't outspeed, so our Razor Leaf is going to win us this battle as well. We then immediately skip through the end of the cave where we meet up with N. He has once again one of the easiest teams to beat ever, so we skip the entire thing with the tower bell and stuff, and just take on Skyla immediately, and she has a flying type team. Of course, one of the 2 types we're 4 times weak against, and this did not really end well for our Sewaddle. The Swanna absolutely obliterated me with Air Slash and Aerial Ace. She also has an Unpheasant, which can do a decent amount of damage, and Swoobat, which is really not that much of a problem. And at level 48, some of her Pokemon were still outspeeding me, so I knew I had to grind up just a tad bit more once again. Even at level 53, there was a chance of one-shotting the Swanna, but most of the time, my roll was just a little bit too low, so I just had to wait until I got that high roll to win the battle. But in the end, I didn't even need the high roll, since I was able to one-shot Swoobat, then not one-shot Unpheasant, but I got hit with a Leer, and after it used a couple of potions, I eventually took it out with some returns. Then Swanna came in and could have probably taking me out with an Aerial Ace since the defense lowering was still up, but he went for an Air Slash, so I survived and could take him down with 2 more returns, winning ourselves our 6th gym badge. And the next thing on the list is another rival battle with Sharon. Unpheasant is its first Pokemon. As he hits me with an Air Slash and does a lot of damage, I hit back with 2 returns to take it down. The rest of this fight isn't looking too great since I don't have a lot of health left and he still has a Pignite. So I went for a return and didn't one-shot, but he went for takedown and not a fire type move. So I survived on 11 HP and then took it down. The next 2 Pokemon, Simisage and Lipard, both went down to bug bites as always, so all we really have to do now is just move on to the next gym battle, the 7th one, Bryson. Should I call him by his movie name, Bryson Man? I'm not gonna lie, I never really touched the Pokemon Studios stuff. I don't even know if it's in this game or Black and White 2. He does still have another typing that we're weak to, Ice. I just realized that Sewaddle is weak to so many typings. It's really not a great Pokemon. That doesn't mean that we can't one-shot Vanillish, and then also two-shot Beartic, since he didn't use Icicle Crash but Swagger. And with this +2 in attack, we can also one-shot the Cryogonal without any more problems. Return is really one of the best moves that we can have here, so I'm really glad that we picked it up. This means that we only have one more gym match to go, but now we have a lot of events to go through before we can challenge that gym battle. The first of them is the Dragon Spiral Tower, and I don't really want to tell you what happened there. It really wasn't nice. So I just went over to the desert where I met my literal spirit animals. These things that just look like they're sleeping all day. After making our way through the entirety of the temple desert thing, we went on over to the museum where we got a white stone, and then we traveled all the way to the bridge that leads us to the last town. But before we can cross that bridge, we have to do the final rival battle with Bianca. Well, normally she has a Herdier as her first Pokemon, but that has now evolved into Stoutland, which is even bulkier and even stronger, and still has the Intimidate ability, so our physical attack is still not looking too great while taking her on. And even the Simisear on her team that's 20 levels below my Sewaddle outspeeds me and kills me with a single Flame Burst. And we can't be having that. We can't be having fire monkeys outspeeding little bugs. That's just not something we do around here. This one time I was able to get to the Simisear without taking any damage, and then my return didn't take it out, but I did live a Flame Burst at 6 HP, but that really didn't matter. It would just be way too much luck involved if I wanted to take him down at this level, so grinding time once again. And so I returned at level 65 to take on the big dog again. This time we managed to two-shot with a return and a Razor Leaf. Since I'm holding the Miracle Seed, my Razor Leaf is actually doing more damage. Simisear got one-shot by return, but that doesn't really matter since you would have one-shotted anyway at this level. Samurott then got hit with a super effective Razor Leaf and he hung on with like 1 HP somehow. Hit me with a Slash, but next turn she used a potion, and I could then finish it off with a Bug Bite and a Razor Leaf combo. Musharna was also able to hang on from a Bug Bite and use a potion, but just like the Samurott, a couple more Bug Bites and we win this battle with Bianca. Now the last and final gym leader is Drayden, one of the coolest gym leaders in this game, even rivaling Bryson Man if I may say so myself, as he is running the Dragon typing. His first Pokemon is a Fracture. We hit a return, but he survives just like Samurott and sets up a Dragon Dance. Then he uses a Hyper Potion and this happens again, another return, Hyper Potion, and then on the third return I just one-shot him since I got a high roll. Druddigon actually took a return very well and then hit me back with a critical hit Night Slash. One more return and it was down though. The final Pokemon is Haxorus, and this thing should just be a pseudo-legendary, but it's not, and I don't really get why he isn't using something like a Zweilous. But two of our returns still take this thing down as we survive a Dragon Tail and gain our last gym badge on this journey. Now before we can head on over to Victory Road in the Pokemon League, we have the final battle with Sharon. And this is probably the most difficult battle up until this point. All because of one Pokemon, and that is this Emboar. This thing will always one-shot me with Flamethrower. Always. There is no way that I'm surviving one even at full health. And my return is never going to do enough damage to take it down, except if I get a critical hit. So that's the only thing I had to do, just get a critical hit on the Emboar. For some reason my return just did not crit for like 30 battles in a row. So after wasting a lot of time, I was eventually able to kill the Pheasant without taking any damage, and by hitting 2 returns. Then the Emboar came out and I finally got my critical hit. The RNG gods smiled upon me, and then I just proceeded to take down his last 2 Pokemon as well. Simisage and Liepard were no match for my Biting Bug. After saying our goodbyes to Sharon and Bianca, we headed on over to the Pokemon League and started off at level 80 because I knew that N and Ghetsis at the end were not going to be easy. But I did decide to start off with the easiest Elite Four member here, the Psychic type user, Caitlyn. And most of her team was just very easy to take down with a Bug Bite, starting off with the Reuniclus, but then Sigilif came out. He survived the bug bite and hit me with an air slash, leaving me with only 6 HP. If I was any level lower, we would probably have died there. But we just managed to hit one more bug bite and take that thing out, and the final 2 Pokemon, Musharna and Gothitelle, also went down to bug bites, since we are literally the best bug in the entire world. Now we have taken on the easiest Elite Four member. Let's take on the second easiest, Grimsley. He does specialize in dark types, which means that I should be able to easily win here, but he has 2 Pokemon where I'm neutral against. First of them is Scrafty. So I go for the return and it doesn't kill and it hits me with a sand attack. Luckily, this doesn't cause me to miss any of my moves and I just take it out with return. We then managed to one-shot Liepard with Bug Bite and also one-shot his second neutral Pokemon against me, Bisharp, because we got a critical hit with Bug Bite. The last Pokemon is going to be Crocodile with Intimidate, so lowering our attack. As we miss our first Bug Bite and get hit with a Foul Play, our second does hit and we still one-shot. The attack lowering didn't even matter. With Grimsley out of the way, we now head on over to the fighting type user Marshall, and he was actually the hardest battle in this entire run. I know it doesn't really make sense because he has fighting types which I shouldn't even be that weak against, but they all have a very annoying set of moves. 3 of the 4 Pokemon have Stone Edge or Rock Slide, which is super effective against me, and they do a lot of damage. And I'm basically not one-shotting any of them, which means that they can all get a hit in with Stone Edge or Rock Slide, and my Sewaddle isn't taking those very well. Even after 50 attempts, I was only able to get to his last Pokemon once, and then I just got obliterated by Rock Slide. It also doesn't help that his first Pokemon, Throw, loves to use Bulldoze, which lowers my speed, and that means that his Pokemon are going to be able to outspeed my little buggy. I tried at various levels, but I had to grind up little Sewaddle to level 100 in order to win this fight. And even then, it wasn't that easy. Even at level 100, we weren't able to one-shot Throw it return, as we then get hit with a Bulldoze and our speed gets lowered. It then just uses a couple of full restores, but in the end, we'd still take it down with a couple more returns. We are never going to be able to one-shot Sock since it has the sturdy ability, but he does outspeed us and hits us with 2 Stone Edges, as we then take him down with 2 returns ourselves. Then the bulky Conkeldurr comes out, who also survives a return with only 1 HP, and hits us with another Stone Edge, bringing us down into red health. But our return after that one-shots, 1 more Pokemon left, Mienshao. It outspeeds us and hits us with a Rock Slide, and I thought that it was over here. But we hung on with 2 HP, giving him a taste of his own medicine, and then counter back with a return to take down Mienshao and win our 3rd Elite Four member battle. This was very close, even at level 100. Now there is only 1 more Elite Four member to go, and that is Chantal. She specializes in ghost types and has a Chandelure, but that shouldn't really be that big of a problem. We managed to one-shot Cofagrigus with Razor Leaf. Normally we would never one-shot Chandelure here, but we got a critical hit Razor Leaf as well to take that thing down. And the last 2 Pokemon, Jellicent and Golurk, are both weak to Razor Leaf, so they also get killed immediately. After beating Chantal, there is only one thing left, the champion. But as we all know, that's just not happening because a castle with flying stairs comes up and destroys the entire league. So as a 10-year-old, we have to do our duty by taking it down. Starting off with the first battle against N. He summons his big black dragon and my white stone starts reacting and a big white dragon comes out. But we have to capture this thing in order to progress through the story, and this is going to add this Reshiram to our team. So the only thing we can do here is just lob Pokeballs at Zekrom's face until he takes down our Reshiram. And luckily he takes down our Reshiram with a Giga Impact, which means that I get a free double hit off with a return, taking down Zekrom already, his biggest threat. Next up is Klinklang, or at least I thought it was Klinklang. It was actually Zoroark. I went for the Razor Leaf, got a critical hit, then the Zoroark went down. Vanillux and Archeops both were easy one-shots with Razor Leaf as well. Caracosta survived a Razor Leaf with its sturdy ability and hit back with a Stone Edge, but our bug is way too bulky at this point as we hit back with a return Razor Leaf combo after he uses a full restore in order to take it down. Klinklang is actually the bulkiest Pokemon on his team as he survives a Razor Leaf and a Bug Bite and hits back with a Thunderbolt and a Hyper Beam, but then we take it out with 1 more return and defeat N, and everything is finished. There is nothing left in this entire game. Psych, it turns out Getsis was the mastermind behind all of it. Who would have known? So our little bug has to squash this green-haired man as well. His first Pokemon is a Cofagrigus with Toxic, but luckily he misses his Toxic. 90% accurate move basically means it's 50% accurate, and we can take the big coffin down with 2 Razor Leaves. My favorite pseudo-legendary then comes out, Hydreigon, as I go for the Bug Bite, which is going to one-shot it. Eelektross, one of my favorite electric types as well, comes in and immediately goes out with a return. Bisharp then manages to survive a Bug Bite and hit back with a Stone Edge, but you know, that just isn't enough to kill me. So a couple more Bug Bites and full restores later, and that thing goes down too. Seismitoad will literally die to a leaf falling on top of it, so a bunch of leaves is absolutely going to bring him down into oblivion. And the last Pokemon is the big bull Bouffalant, who survives a return surprisingly and hits back with a head charge. The recall damage doesn't take him down, but another return does, and that means that we have now saved the world and basically became champion of this entire region. This brings us to the end of our run, as I just pulled up with my Sewaddle and absolutely destroyed the legendary dragons and stopped the criminal organization. That's literally all you need, little bugs. But I was actually pretty surprised that I could take down this entire game without using a single item in battle. And I think that is beautiful, and this definitely puts Sewaddle at the top of our bug list here. It is way stronger than even Wurmple and Caterpie combined. As always people, let me know in the comments down below what you want me to do next, and before we end off I just want to thank my membership and Patreon supporters as always. If you want to sign up yourself, the links are in the description, it's always appreciated. And with that out of the way, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends. I'm Zwiggojr, and I'll see you guys next time.